We're doing chapter 5, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing, chapter 5. So talk to me a little bit about chapter 5.
So it talked about, let's see, it talked a lot about grammar. It talked about predicate nominatives a lot.
So what declension were you introduced to?
I didn't know I was introduced to a declension.
Second declension words, right?
Really?
Masculine forms.
That wasn't chapter 4?
Come on, Jakey.
Oh, he's
Come on.
big. Dang. He's gotten bigger since the last time I saw him.
Come over here. He's a grouch though. What's up, buddy? Okay. No, I think that was first declension, right? The feminine, the words that ended with eta.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
I
the
thought
second.
that had
So
been
we
the
were
previous.
introduced to second declension words,
Okay.
and then yes, we were introduced to the predicate nominative. We were introduced to vocatives, and we were introduced to apposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about those.
Second.
So what's the nominative case?
The nominative case functions as the subject of the sentence.
Yeah, good. Okay, so then what is the predicate nominative?
The predicate nominative is the noun that basically takes on. It's a noun that's in the predicate.
It's hard to explain, right?
Yeah. It's with a verb of being, and it basically identifies the subject.
Describes. But the way that I think Wallace says it, that it approximates the nominative, right? It's approximately the same thing, basically, as the nominative. So if you were asked a question, and this is an illustration right from his book, but I think it's really helpful. Like, it'll help you remember. Like, if you were asked, who is Michael Jordan, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would say Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever, right? You know, this is the illustration he uses. I don't know anything about basketball, so I could care less who the greatest basketball player is. But you see how the greatest in that sentence, right, taken that statement is true, if you were to ask, who is the greatest basketball player ever living, what would be the answer?
Michael Jordan.
The greatest basketball player living is Michael Jordan. So you see how the predicate nominative approximates, right? And in that kind of sentence, what you have what would be called is a convertible proposition, right?
Okay.
Which means that you can move one around, right? And you still sort of get the same approximate meaning. With predicate nominatives and with the verbs of being, though, you don't always get that. Sometimes you get what's called a subset proposition, right? So like God is love. You can't flip that around. Right? Right, Jake? Okay, so predicate nominative. Now explain that part to me. So if I were to ask you, if I were to give you a sentence and I were to say God is love, and I were to ask you, what is the predicate in that sentence?
The predicate is love.
Good, right? What is that part of the sentence doing?
It's basically pointing back to the subject.
It's predicating.
Predicating.
It's an easy way to remember it. You know, it's kind of cheating, but to predicate means to say something, right? It's saying something about the nominative. It's predicating, right? All right. So you had the predicate, nominative, predicate part of the sentence, I guess. That's what you could say. And then you had the vocative. What is the vocative?
The vocative functions as direct address.
The case of direct address. Right, and then do you remember the 3 instances in which vocatives are used?
He described them as being I know they can start a new section.
Mm-hmm.
What else can they do?
They can introduce. Remember the examples that he used from, I think it was from Ephesians? Right? Husbands, wives.
Oh, yeah.
Right? What does that do? It introduces...
Like a topic.
New agents, new topics. Yeah. Okay, so that's one aspect. It begins, as you said, a What did you say just a few minutes ago?
I said it's like it kind of can begin like a new paragraph.
Okay. And what else?
It can specifically address a new audience.
Yeah, that's the example from Ephesians,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Right, because it's changing.
Yeah.
It could begin. It could emphasize a particular person or a particular statement. All right. So you have the vocative, right? And then and the vocative. What is the case ending in the plural form for the vocative?
For which declension?
For first or second. You can give me both. First and second declension.
I think the second declension is
plural.
Yeah, I think the second declension is EU. Omicron iota.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, and how about the first? Well, how about the first, Jake? Do you know? You don't want to tell Mr. Tyler.
I don't think I know the first declension.
It's the same as the nominative.
So it's...
That's why I asked that one first. That's right. It's for the first declension. So it's the same as the nominative for the feminine, for the masculine, and for the neuter.
Okay.
Now, how about singular, the singular form?
For second declension, I think
Either
it's epsilon, isn't it?
But are you asking me?
I am. Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So for the first declension, whether masculine or neuter, it's going to be either alpha or eta, right? First declension is going to be alpha or eta.
Depending on which of those endings it has.
Or it can be when you have a first declension masculine, it's omicron sigma.
First declension masculine, omicron sigma.
So alpha, eta, or omicron sigma.
So it always corresponds to the nominative.
Not for the second declension, because for the second declension it's going to be epsilon.
That's the exception, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Okay, so that's the vocative. And what's apposition? Not opposition.
Apposition, yeah. I actually learned this in high school, so that was an easy section. It's basically like a phrase that describes the preceding noun.
You know what? I think I'm wrong. I think this is what I think apposition. Wallace says. I think I'm wrong. I think I'm getting confused. He says apposition is approximately the So I gotta look that up. I'll tell you I'll tell you what it is. I don't have my big Wallace book here, but I'll tell you next week. I think it's that one. But anyways, to ask what is apposition is kind of weird. So the best way to think about it is, if you're asked that question, or if you're asked to think about it, is what does a word that's in apposition do?
It describes.
Right. It's kind of like an adjective, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like the section on, I think it's the section on pragmatics, where he says that what the opposition makes you do is kind of slow down and think about the subject more.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But basically that's what it does. So our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Well, that's an and, so that wouldn't be. So let's think of one. Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ, and Timothy, the brother, right?
Yeah.
He's an apostle, Timothy's a brother, right? Those are appositional. Alright, so apposition. Now what else did he talk about in that chapter? I think that was it, right? He talked about markings in your New Testament, but you don't really have to worry about that. Just be familiar with that section. But you don't have to memorize all that stuff. But it is helpful. One of the things that I didn't do, and I know other people don't do, is like familiarize yourself with that kind of stuff. Like basic things like reading the introduction to BDAG. Like I had never done that, honestly, till this year. And it's like, duh. I mean, they're gonna tell me how to use the thing, right?
Yeah.
The guys who basically wrote it are going to tell me how to use it in the introduction and give me a historical, like a survey of what it is. So, So, it's important to know those things, but at this particular point, it's not that necessary. You can't even read your Greek New Testament right now, let alone
Right.
have to worry about all those different ones. So don't worry about that part. And I think that was it, right? Why don't you turn to the reading exercise?
Is it?
And yeah, it's 5F in the workbook.
Okay.
Did you translate it?
Mm-hmm. So is that at the very end?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I wrote it in here. Close your screen.
Okay.
You could read it in here. And then we'll do some of the other exercises. We have time. Here. This is how I do mine. I print them out and then so I don't mess up my workbook.
That's a good way to do it.
Experience. My Mounts workbook, man. I think I have two. You see, I have two Mounts workbooks here. No, 3. No, 2. I have 2. I have like 2 other ones. Because I went through the book like three or 4 times.
Daddy,
Yeah, that's a
What's
good
up?
his
idea.
van just pulled in.
Who?
Davin.
Okay.
His van just like when I looked out the window, when the hay's going on me.
He's not here, son. Go watch the movie. All right, so go ahead and you could read a section in Greek. You know, you don't
Mhm.
have to read like the whole verse. If you want to read like a clause and then translate.
Yeah.
Let me see. Where's my trend?
Evriski un o Andreas ton Adelphon imona ke lei avto. And that's, let's see. Therefore Andrew finds the brother Simon and says to him, right?
So here, this is pretty interesting, right? So you have more. So therefore, then something like that. So then, Andrew, he found the brother Simon, right? What is another way we could translate that accusative? Context.
You mean the brother?
Uh-huh.
Could you? Are you saying like you could translate it as in a positive phrase for Simon?
No. His brother.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's an accusative. You see? It's not a genitive. But so context, the cases have that a little bit, right? It's not going to be all the time, but here it's his brother, Simon.
Okay.
And he said to him, I like to do that because it reminds me who the subject is. I wouldn't translate on paper that way, but when I'm reading, I do that. So, and he said to him.
Okay.
You can say, and Andrew said to him.
All right. Evreikamen ton messian, which is, what does that say? We have found.
So if you think about
Sorry.
evrisko is what?
I find.
I find. So men.
We
that
find.
ending, we
Yeah.
found. We find or we found. Right? We wouldn't translate. We find the Messiah.
Oh
And
yeah.
we would say, we
We
found
found.
the Messiah.
We found the Messiah. Okay. So there's kind of some fluidity when you're translating like that. It's
Yeah,
not
there
like-
is. You would be surprised.
Okay.
Like I remember when Michael Holcomb, he had us we read through, I think, man, it was like 1st or 2nd Maccabees, and that was like, what in the world? It was yeah. You just have to be sensitive to context
Okay.
a lot of the time. So anyway, go ahead.
O estin me okay, I'm gonna try not to laugh and say this. Mether me nevomenon.
Methermenevse would be interpret.
Methermenefse.
Would be like, it's like interpret. Like I remember, again, my Greek professor constantly telling me that, or tutor. Methermenevse,
Oh yeah, because you
Interpret.
Okay.
which is interpreted.
Which
Meaning
is interpreted.
Or meaning, right? Something like that.
Which is interpreted Christ.
Or how would you say it?
The Christ.
The Christ.
Okay. O de Andreas Pempi Afton to Jesu, which is now, or could you say so?
Mm-hmm.
So Andrew sends him to Jesus. So so Andrew sent him to Jesus? Or
Mhm.
okay. Que o Jesus lei, which is, and Jesus said, or says, su I Simon o Ios
Mm-hmm.
Ioannu. Okay. You are Simon, the son of John.
So now the son there, what
You are Simon.
the son? But is it appositional?
Yeah.
That's appositional, right? The son of John.
Su kleithese Kephas o eremnevete Petros. So that's you kleithese.
Will be called from well,
You will be called Cephas. I'm just getting that from reading the
yeah,
Nasby.
Kephas. Well, Kephas is right. There's no C in Greek or in Latin, so it's Caesar, not Caesar. Right, in Latin
Okay.
also. So you have this. It looks like a C, but it's not pronounced like a C. It's always pronounced like a capital.
Okay. Even when you see it in the English translation, you
No,
pronounce it like that.
for us, because we pronounce a C like a S.
Okay.
Right.
But I can say Cephas. Okay.
Kepha.
You shall be called Cephas.
No. Why are you complaining?
Which is translated Peter, and the only reason I know that is because I've done this before.
What do you mean?
Which is translated part, which I got from down here.
Okay, yeah.
Que
I think about hermeneutics. The
Hermenevite. So
would be her if
hermeneutics.
we did the breathing mark, but
Okay.
we don't. So it's hermeneo.
Oh, right.
Hermeneutics.
Que evriski pilopon. And he found Philip.
Philopon, not pilopon.
Did I say pilopon?
Yeah.
Pilopon. That's funny.
Pilopon.
It sounded weird coming out of my mouth. Que lei αυτό o Jesus. And he said, and Jesus said to him, Akoluthi mu.
Me.
How do you say that?
Me.
That almost sounds French.
Accolute me. Accolute me. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me.
Follow me.
Follow me.
O un Philippos que ergete que evriski ton Nathanael que lei αυτό. Therefore, Philip both went and found Nathan, and said to him,
Nathaniel.
"What did I say? Oh, I said
Nathan.
Nathan. Okay, Nathaniel.
Nathanael.
Nathanael. O nomos que you prophete would this be Leusin?
Le
Or would it be Legusin?
Legusin, like soup.
Okay.
Gusin.
O nomos.
Can you give me that coffee?
Yep.
Thank you.
O nomos que you prophete
You don't drink coffee.
Legusin oti Messias ergete. The law and the prophets say that the Messiah is coming or going, probably coming.
Mm-hmm.
Evrekamen ton Christon, which is we've found the Christ. Iesun ion to Iosef ton apo
Yo. That's why I like that.
Nazaret. We have found the Christ. Trying to find that. Why is that accusative? It's Jesus, the son of Joseph, but that's accusative. So, that's because it's in a positive.
Yes.
Apposition.
Apposition.
Jesus, the son of Joseph from Nazareth.
Mm-hmm. From Nazareth. That's it. Yep, you got it. Good.
Cool.
Good. All right. So, how did you diagram these, or how did you do these?
I did the constituent marking.
Okay, that's good. All right. So, let's work on. That's for me. Thank you. Here, you want to write something for Daddy? Here, write something for me. Here, write me a message. Right here. Look. Right there. Use that stack of books that's on the floor that nobody can see because it's behind the refrigerator. All right. We'll start with. We can start with number 1. You can go. You can open your notes now.
Okay. So you want your book?
I got it here, but yeah. Right there. We'll just start with number 1. So this is oh, you know what? We can do you want to do some of? We don't really have to do those. But,
I'll tell you what. My least favorite part of this class is the constituent marking.
why?
It's meticulous.
Yeah, but that's how you want to handle your Greek New Testament.
Yeah.
You want to read your Greek New Testament just to read it, like just to read it and to enjoy reading it. But if you're doing exegesis, that meticulousness is what you need, which is like not a lot of people don't enjoy it, but that's the part in exegesis that's going to be helpful. That's why I enjoy diagramming, and I diagram just, even the articles, so that then when I'm coming back around to the text, I can ask those kind of questions like, how is this article being used? Right? Yes. You wrote me a message? Let me see. What you got? Oh, wow. Here. Let's write on this one. There you go. You go right on that one. Well, let's go up higher. Alright, good. So we can start with the first one. Mark 8:24.
Translations.
Okay. And you can just read it and then give me whatever. You can
Okay.
start from left to right and tell me each part of speech.
Vlepo tous anthropus. Vlepo is a verb.
Hmm.
Do you want me to do, case, number, gender, lexical form, inflected meaning?
You don't have to do that.
Okay.
We don't have anything with it. What time is it?
It is 6:44.
Yeah, we don't have the time for that.
Okay. So the translation
He's
is...
grading you. Just
Oh, great.
keep an eye on
Those eyes.
him. All right, go ahead.
The translation is I see the men, and vlepo is a verb, tous anthropus is the direct object.
And where's the subject?
It's within the verb.
So now, to John 6:48.
Ego imi o artos tes zoes,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I am the bread of life. And ego is a pronoun, first person pronoun. Imi is a, you call it a copulative?
I know what you mean. So
Okay.
if you want to say copulative, that's fine.
It's a verb of being. O artos is the nominative, is a predicate nominative.
Mm-hmm. What's the subject then?
Ego.
All right, and here was a good point. So there's when you have a predicate nominative. Hey, watch that. When you have a predicate nominative construction, there's a pecking order, right? What's the pecking order? What's the
pecking
order?
order?
That's the word that Wallace uses, but there's an order, right? Like, so if you have a pronoun and you have a noun that's articular, which one is going to be the subject?
Pronoun.
How about if you don't have an express pronoun, but you do have a noun that's articular?
But the pronoun is hidden within the verb.
Always.
I think the pronoun
The
goes
pronoun,
first.
the pronoun. The pronoun is going to be the subject. How about if you have a pronoun and a proper name?
Pronoun. It's always a pronoun.
How about if you have a proper name and an articular noun?
I think those are equal in.
So then what's going to determine?
I'm hungry.
Okay, Mom should be coming soon to pick you guys up.
I'm not entirely sure.
Word order.
Okay.
Word order. Word order is gonna indicate that. All right. At least at this point, just word order. Okay, so finish here. So pronoun, verb, and then predicate nominative.
Mm-hmm. And then tes zois, and that's a genitive phrase, which is a
Modifier.
prepositional phrase. Yeah, modifier. Modifying artos.
I'm hungry.
Mommy's coming in a little bit to pick you guys up.
Why can't we stay for group?
No, go. Take a walk. Take a walk.
I see you guys.
I know.
Well, I am hungry. I can't take it.
You'll be fine.
Can I eat something here?
No, there's no food here. Go to have a seat. You'll be fine. Nobody's gonna die. Everybody's nice and healthy, nice and strong. You get to exercise some patience. All right, next sentence. Number 3, Matthew 24, verse 5.
Ego imi o Christos.
Mm-hmm.
Ego is a personal pronoun. Imi is the verb. O Christos is the predicate nominative, and it means I am the Christ.
4, Revelation 1:17.
Ego imi o protos ke o eschatos, and that's I am the first and the last.
Mm-hmm.
Ego, personal pronoun. Imi is the verb. O protos is a predicate nominative. Ke is a conjunction, and o eschatos is also a predicate nominative.
Mm-hmm. All right, 5.
O de Jesus lei, ego imi ke ofeste ton ion tu anthropou. And that's now Jesus said, I am, and you will see the Son of Man. De is a postpositive conjunction. Do you call that a conjunction?
Ke? Yes.
De.
Yeah. Well, it's not post positive.
De?
Oh, yes, de. Yes, I'm sorry. I thought you
Okay.
said ke.
Jesus is going to be the subject, meaning Jesus. Lei is the verb. Ego, starting a new sentence technically. Ego is personal pronoun. Imi is verb. Ke is a conjunction. Ofeste is another verb. Ton ion is going to be is accusative noun, is a direct object, and tu anthropou is a prepositional phrase modifying the Son.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, those are not called like prepositional phrases all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are not called preface, but I know what you're saying. It's just the genitive case, you know.
Okay.
All right. So where are we at? 6.
6. Este ke umis kletoi. Kletiu Iesu Christu. And that's you are. No. And you are. And you shall. I put you are the called of Jesus Christ, but I don't think that's right.
Yeah. And you are the called of Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's just because I left off the K.
Mm-hmm.
Este is a verb. It's another one of those. Do you call it a copulative verb? Is that what
It's
you call
fine.
it? Okay.
Fine. I understand what you're saying.
But is it incorrect?
No,
is it
that's what it
inaccurate?
is.
Okay. Ke is a conjunction. Umis is a pronoun, personal pronoun. Second person. Kletiu. Called? What is that? Like an adjective?
You are the called.
That's a noun.
It's like a noun. Yeah, it's a noun.
And then Jesus Christ is genitive phrase. Genitive phrase.
Yeah. Next. Keep going.
Agape tiu. Nun tekna theu esmin. And that's agape tiu is a vocative. Nun is a conjunction. Tekna is what is that? That's a noun in the nominative. Theu is the genitive modifying tekna, and then esmin is a verb, and so it comes out as beloved. Now we are children of God.
Mm-hmm. We are children of God.
Okay. Number
Jake, come here with that pencil, son. No, get off his arm. Come on, buddy. Come on. Ha. Come here.
He looks like Buff when we were standing. Did you see how he was standing like that? Number 8. O Petros vlepi ton mathetein. And that's Peter sees the disciple.
Peter, he sees the disciple.
And Petros
Leave him alone. He's fine.
That's going to be the nominative noun subject. Vlepi is the verb. Ton mathetein is the direct object. Number 9. O adelphos ekhi ton logon tes zois. And do we, just as an aside, do we pronounce the zeta like that with a D?
Like yeah. Not like
Okay.
a zzz, but like a DZ kind of thing. I
Okay.
think is how they do it.
I just know it said that in David Allen Black's, but it seemed to insinuate something else in this one. So
Whatever they insinuated, I can't remember. I think it's ZD the other way around. Zed, something like that.
oh, that would make things so much more complicated. The brother has the word of life, and the brother is the subject, has is the verb, the word is the direct object, and the life is that is a genitive.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10, que o diabolos lei avto I ios I tu theu vale vale seavton kato. Man. And the demon said to him,
Diabolos. The devil.
and the devil said to him, right, if you are if you are a son of God, cast yourself down. So
Let me go check on Jacob.
yeah,
He's gone. Jake!
I'm gonna pause this.